Welcome back, trainers. So we're going to be taking a look at some Kingdom Cup battles here, going up against my friend Dark. So these are going to be some pretty good examples as we're going to see getting deeper into the videos. And also, you guys did reach the 500 likes for my first Kingdom Cup announcement tournament, and I will be purchasing a secondary move for my Melmetal. I'm going to do that in the next video because there is no Melmetal gameplay in this video. Now, I do have my Altaria out here because he did have the Dragonair, and I was trying to get off that super effective Dragon Breath onto it, but he did switch into the Bastiodon, which will absolutely wall Altaria to the end of the earth. As you can see here, Dragon Breath is just barely doing anything. It will dig in for sure, but that Smackdown is just going to absolutely devastate it, that Altaria at least, because it's going to be part flying. And flying type is not going to be very effective to steel. But on the other hand, I do have the Lucario in here coming in, doing massive damage to that rock and steel type Bastiodon and taking him out there. So that's pretty nice. So you got to make sure you have some sort of fighting ground water counter to go up against that, because if you don't, you're going to absolutely get destroyed by Bastiodon. So in comes his Dragonair, which we will be taking reduced damage from that Dragon Breath, but it's still going to be doing quite a bit. But the Lucario going strong with that power up punch, and in comes the Lapras. We're going to be doing super effective damage because it is going to be part ice type. Down goes my Lucario finally, and in comes my Bastiodon, and finishing it off with the Smackdown. So as you're going to see many of these battles, including the Bastiodon, it's going to be an absolute must when you go to your Kingdom Cup tournament come April. So starting it off with the Steelix going up against the Dragonair yet again. It is going to be hitting me up with the Aqua Tail, doing super effective damage because I will be part ground type. I'm not going to use my shields quite yet. Going to go ahead and hit it up with the Crunch here. And I do have Dragon Tail on my Steelix, so I will be doing super effective damage in that regard. I'm going to go ahead and shield this one up because I want to get off one more Crunch here and not waste that energy this time around. And he will be taking the hit here. So he does have one shield. I do as well. I'm up one Pokemon. Let's see who he brings out. It's going to be that Bastiodon. Now, check this out. I was going to potentially, hopefully think he was going to fall for my shield baiting, but I do go for Earthquake instead, and it almost takes out Bastiodon in one hit. So take note of that your Steelix will be doing that if you decide to use those Pokemon. Now, in comes my Dewgong, and we're just going to finish it off with the Ice Shards there. And that's another okay Pokemon to go up against the Bastiodon if you do have Aqua Tail. In comes the Altaria, and I'm looking golden. Absolutely golden. Yes, Dragon Breath will be doing quite a bit of damage. I still do have one shield, so we're going to be okay in that regard. And that Ice Wind does get energy fairly quick with the Ice Shards. Double Legacy here. We will be finishing off that Altaria with the super effective Ice Wind. Into the next battle here. And let's go ahead and see what we have going on. Had a lot of fun doing these tests with him. This is the, I'd say, probably the third person I tested these battles with. I didn't record the other ones. I don't want to give away all the secrets quite yet. So he is starting it off with Monferno, going in with the Skarmory. He will be super effective with that Ember Quick move, and I will be super effective with my Flying Quick move as well as my Charge. He does shield up. As you can see, my quick attack is doing quite a bit of damage. Flamethrower would have been devastating, probably took me out there because I will be steel type, taking super effective damage from that as well. Alright, just waiting for him to pick, and he's bringing in the Lapras. Now we're still looking okay. If he does have Water Gun, that pretty much will, do a decent amount of damage over time. But I will be able to get off another Sky Attack here. And let's just go ahead and just waste that shield. Well, I wouldn't say waste. He's protecting his Lapras so he can get off a charge or preserve it for the next Pokemon. Making my choice here, I'm going to go ahead and go with the Bastiodon and just shield up. I didn't know if he was going to hit me with a water move. If he does hit me with that ice, it's not going to be doing very much damage here. So I did finish it off with the Smackdown. And I know for a fact that Dragonite has Dragon Breath and Dragon Claw. But Bastiodon can still tank all of what Dragonite has to dish out, even if it's going to be a Legacy. And I did finish it off with that Stone Edge in a good game. Going into the next match here, going to start it off with the Dewgong going up against the Altaria. Now, if you do have that matchup, the Dewgong is going to be double Legacy. You will win that battle. All right. So we're going to go ahead and hit up Water Pulse onto that Bastiodon, doing a good amount of damage there. And as you're going to see in a moment, I did do that mistake switch. Why would you want to do that? There's no reason for you to ever switch into Alolan Ninetales going up against the Bastiodon because you're just not going to be doing anything whatsoever. So should have stayed to Dewgong. Oops, lesson learned. Didn't mean that. So we're just going to go ahead and bring Dewgong back into the fight here and shield up because Flamethrower is going to still do an okay amount of damage, and if he hit me up with Stone Edge, then it would have just been a one-shot. So we're going to go for the Water Pulse. He will be shielding that up. Now he has no more shields, and I am up a shield, but I'm also down 2 Pokemon since I did mess up that switch there. So we're just going to go ahead and hit up that Smackdown and go for Flamethrower first things first. We will be shielding up. Did not need to waste a shield here. Absolutely shouldn't have done that. So lesson learned. Do believe this was my first time going up against another Bastiodon versus Bastiodon, so I wasn't quite aware as to how much damage it would have done. Oops. He's just deciding which Pokemon to bring in. He has no more shields. We're going to go ahead and hit up that Stone Edge, taking a good amount of health off of the Altaria here. Now, typically going up against an Altaria with your Bastiodon, you don't want to use charge moves. You kind of just want to hit it up with Smackdown and gain as much energy as possible for the next Pokemon and just hit him up with your charge moves. But I was in a bad position here, and if I was to continuously hit it up with Smackdown and save my charges for this specific situation, I probably could have won. But lesson learned yet again. So we're just learning every single battle we're doing here. Going into the next round, we're starting it off with Skarmory. Oh, and every one of these games is a good game. Not trying to make excuses, just trying to point out the flaws here, right? Alright, so starting off with the Skarmory, he's going in with the Dragonair, and he hit the switch on me while I hit my charge move, hitting up Sky Attack and wasting that energy. So I will be bringing in my Bastiodon. Now we have a mirror match, folks. Let's see what happens. This is a very slow and drawn out battle, just to let you know, and it will happen to you too. And you better get yourself one of these Bastiodons for sure, because they're just absolutely 100% necessary for the Kingdom Cup. Okay, I mean, if you get matched up with something that's not doing very much damage, it will win. It just is that good. I mean, as you're seeing the results here going up against Altaria, nothing the Altaria can do. Now, Kingdra, on the other hand, will more than likely lose going up against Altaria, okay? But if it's going up against the Bastiodon and it does have Hydro Pump, that's where it's going to do better than Altaria in that situation, okay? So take note of that. They both have their usabilities. Altaria is good, and Kingdra can find its usability for sure as well. We'll take a look at that here in a moment. He is bringing in his Monferno, and that was a neck-to-neck battle against those Bastiodons there. He will be finishing me off. Bringing in the Skarmory. He's doing super effective damage with that Ember onto my Skarmory. Being in part Steel type, he does shield that up. Otherwise, it would have taken him out in one shot, I do believe. Hitting me up with Low Sweep and finishing me off. I do have one shield left, so let's see what we can do here. Powder Snow not doing much whatsoever to that Monferno. And we're going to block that Low Sweep and hit him up with Psyshock. Psyshock is going to charge fairly quick with the Powder Snow, so I'm looking okay. And at this point, I could have went for Psyshock and took him out, but I knew I wasn't going to be able to take this hit, so I let it go. I know I had no more shields, that's why I didn't hit up Psyshock. Going to go for Dazzling Gleam, super effective, and finishing off that Dragonair, and that is a good game. So on to the next one here. And these Kingdom Cups, guys, are turning out to be super fun. I love the typings and the Pokemon you're able to use. So starting it off with Lucario, he's going in with Monferno. Ember, super effective to my Steel Lucario, so we're going to switch and get the heck out of there. And going to take the hit, does a good amount of damage to my Dewgong because I will be part Ice type. It will be super effective. Going to hit up Ice Wind and try to bait his shield, which it works. Excellent. At this point, though, yeah, it was worth using the shield this time. It's not like I'm going to be able to get to that. Well, I can get to that Water Pulse, but it was cutting it very close. And at this point, I wasn't able to get my charge off first. He was. So I wasn't going to waste another shield. I wanted to preserve that in case I needed it for my Bastiodon. He was going to bring in something that was going to do fighting or ground or water type moves, right? Or possibly protect my Lucario. So he is going to bring in his Bastiodon, and I do switch into Lucario and getting off a few punches really quick. In comes his Altaria, and this is not a horrible situation. As you're going to see, the Steel is going to be resisting Dragon Breath, but it's still doing so much. And I was thinking to myself, should I go for Shadow Ball? But I had a feeling he was going to use his shield, so I just went for Power Punch to gain my attack. But check it out, he ends up not shielding it, so I could have taken out that Altaria right then and there, but I was able to get my Power Up Punch yet again, and almost taking out the Altaria with my Lucario doing fighting moves, which is pretty amazing. In comes the Bastiodon and just taking out the Altaria with one Smackdown. He will be bringing in his Bastiodon, and we now have a mirror match here. And basically, it's just going to be the Smackdown Flamethrower deal. If you wanted to go for Stone Edge, you could, because as you can see, the energy is basically even for them, so it's not like you're wasting anything. It almost looks like Stone Edge is doing a little bit more, but I'm pretty sure they're neck and neck here for damage because of the steel typing on the Bastiodon. It's not going to be super effective because it will be part rock type. So we're going to actually use Stone Edge to see how much damage it does. As you can see, almost the same as Flamethrower, if anything the same. And he's going to win this mirror match here by a sliver, and that is a good game. Alright, so those Bastiodons are something else. Quite the investment, so try and trade some people. Maybe you can get a lucky. So starting it off with the Alolan Ninetales, he's going in here with the Monferno. Super effective to my Ice type, but I will be able to get Psy Shock fairly quick, and that's going to be working to my advantage here. And I will definitely have to shield up when he comes with that low sweep, because it's going to do a decent amount of damage to me being part Ice type. I am part Fairy, so it is going to just be neutral. Going to go ahead and hit up that Psy Shock, and he does decide to use the shield, and I was thinking, why did he do that? Oh, probably because he knows I have Bastiodon lying in wait, and that Monferno is going to be helping me out. Now you're going to be able to see Kingdra going up against Altaria. I had to retreat. Those cannot win in those situations. But going up against a Bastiodon with the Kingdra, that's going to be great, because you will be able to get off that Hydro Pump like we were discussing. But on the other hand, Altaria, as you can see here, is absolutely stuck. Nothing it can do. It's much like the Skarmory versus Tropius, except for the Tropius is doing some damage with its quick move, but the Altaria, not a thing with this massively over defensive Triceratops over here. So he is bringing in his Monferno, and I don't know why I went for the Flamethrower. Could have went for Stone Edge and taken it out here. He was able to get in another low sweep, which as you can see did a decent amount, and even being extremely weak with the Steel and Rock type, it's still able to survive that low sweep from the Monferno. This thing is an absolute monster. So I'm just going to go ahead and do what I can here. This situation, I'm not going to switch, just going to do as much damage before I go down. Now check it out. Flamethrower, extra resisted on the Kingdra, being a dragon and water type. Now, here we go. Can I take him out? Yes. And see, that's why Kingdra is actually going to be good going up against Bastiodon, because of that Hydro Pump. So Altaria doesn't have anything on Kingdra when it comes down to that situation. Now Celio, you want to know how good that is going up against Bastiodon? Not good at all, folks, because, well, normal type, it's going to be resisted by Steel and Rock. So it's double resisted, and then you have the Ice move, not doing much whatsoever because of the Steel type. Yeah, it's not looking great. So Celio in these battles, I just don't know if you're really going to want to use it, folks. It can definitely do extremely well going up against other Pokemon, and I know that wasn't the best situation for it going up against a Rock and Steel type, but yeah, I don't know. Personally, I'm not going to be using it too much. Anyways, we have the mirror match yet again with the Bastiodons. How many times have I said that name so far in this video? My gosh, I should have a counter up at the top. Anyways, going on here, was I charging? Was I doing Smackdown for some time? Yeah, I was gaining my energy so I can do a couple flamethrowers in a row, or at least try to. I do go ahead and shield this up because I want to preserve just a little bit more health. At this point I was thinking, can I take him out with Smackdown? Better not. I don't want to waste another shield here. So we do go ahead and go for the flamethrower. And we're just going to go ahead and wait for the next Pokemon. And in comes the Monferno, which, yeah, it's not looking great for me. Don't know why I went for Flamethrower here. I could have went for Stone Edge, but also he had 2 shields, so I was probably thinking, whatever, I'll do anything. And he'll just shield it up. As you can see, Kingdra, not a chance. This will take out the Altaria if it had no more shields, but in this situation, not looking too hot. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a big thumbs up, and I'll be catching you all next time. Take care.